guys, welcome back. So I have some more information that I want to share with you guys regarding being prepared and community preparedness in general. Okay, so I want to talk about fuel. Um, Fuels run out. You can only get a storage tank so big, and if the prices go out of reach or the products are unavailable, there is no way of getting them. So things that you can stock up on are gasoline, traditional for chainsaws, for vehicles, things like that. You can stock up on propane. Now, the cool thing about propane is once you fill that tank, it never goes bad. A lot of people don't really talk about that, but it is a very shelf stable fuel to have around. Butane is another one. It's good for lighters. It's good for some different cooking devices like Coleman stoves and stuff. Some of those options do take butane. There's the white gas, or the, what do they call it? I wrote it down. Anyways, there's white gas, there's, like I said, propane, butane, all these different fuels that you can buy and stock up on are going to be really important if the grid goes down or if we can't get to these things. Now, with the propane bottles, you can get the really big ones, and you can buy adapters so you can fill the smaller ones. You can get those small green ones, the 1 pound. And you can get all sorts of different sizes of propane bottles. All you need is that adapter. So if you do have a large propane tank and you're going to be thinking about filling smaller devices, whether it be for cooking or for neighbors or for barter, you want to be able to, you want to get that hose that is an adapter so you can fill other containers. That's a really good piece of preparedness to have available to you, so you can help others, like I said. Okay, now I wanted to go back to the last video that I did just for a quick minute regarding the fertilizers. So I had talked about if you're in an apartment or whatever and you only have room for a tote. Now, what I forgot to mention about that is that tote, you need to drill holes in it or puncture holes in it so that there's some airflow in there. Not necessarily on the bottom because you don't want it running out, but create some airflow in there so you can keep the lid on, keep any, cats or squirrels or birds out of it, and at the same time create some airflow. So that was just a little side note that I kind of forgot to talk about. Because the whole thing with fertilizer is you're putting your scraps, your kitchen waste in there, but it needs the airflow to circulate. And you can also layer it with grass clippings or leaves in the fall and all that stuff. So there's brown and there's green when it comes to making compost. Do your own research again, but you use all those things, the grass clippings as a layer. You can use newspaper and cardboards as a layer. More cardboards than newspaper because of the ink in it. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Leaves if you're around a lot of trees. Like my compost is so happy where I am here because we have all these maple trees and I just have tons of leaves. So not only do I use it in my compost, but I also use it in my garden as a ground cover for the winter months. Okay, so next I wanted to talk about, the other fuel, it was kerosene. I guess that's the same as white gas or Coleman stove fuel or whatever, but there's quite a few different ones. And like the fuel that you need if you have like a Zippo, different wicks. If you have lanterns, the old school lanterns, you want to stock up on the wicks as well as the fuel. Okay, so that was that. Now, I want to talk about, I briefly talked about if you're trying to heat a large space and you don't have that ability, that you can pop up a tent inside your house to create a smaller area to heat. Now, this is something that everybody should be stocked up on, and that is like a roll of plastic, the nice, thick, heavy plastic, or tarps, like I had mentioned before. Anything to cover windows, create smaller spaces, so cordon off rooms. Again, any extra wood, to provide more security for your windows and whatnot is always great to have around as well. And I mean, really, if somebody is into welding or metal work, you can make beautiful decorative bolt-ons that go onto your window for security and things like that. So get really creative, having all these things around in the time of troubles is it's just a breath of fresh air because you know you're okay. All right, what was the next thing? Plants that you can grow inside your house all year round, as long as you have a nice sunny window. I mean, different herbs more so than plants. But like your parsley, you can grow lettuce indoors. You know, all sorts of things that you might want, like a kale plant, you can grow those indoors. Some of them tend to go a little bit wonky in winter, but there's other varieties. Like I have really good luck with the red curly kale. It grows for me all year round inside the house. So all of these plants, you know, throughout the winter months, they're great extra nutrients, right? And you get those live enzymes from eating raw greenage. And cruciferous vegetables such as kale are so good for our digestion and so many other things. So they're great to learn, you know, all these plants, any plant, it takes a while to get to know how to grow them. You know, what kind of soil they need, how much water they like, do they like sunshine or shade? All of these things and all of this research can be done now, even if you don't have space for a garden. Learn about the vegetables that you like and how they grow and what they like. So in the event that you come to a space where you can have a garden, whether it's a community garden or you move into a house, you already have the knowledge of how to grow these things, and then you can get started. Another thing you can do is you can start your seeds indoors. I know a lot of people that live in apartments and whatnot, they don't really do gardening, but you can use your patio, your veranda, or whatever you call it, and you can grow some really important vegetables. Like I said, parsley is a great one. You can eat a piece every day, and it is so packed full of things that can keep you healthy and nourished in times of trouble. So something to consider. And you can also overwinter peppers and tomatoes, things like that. Now my hot peppers, I have overwintered them in the past, where I go and I buy a start of an heirloom variety that I want to keep. And then over winter, all you do is you cut them back, you put them into an indoor, like if you dig them up out of the ground, you put them into an indoor pot, clean off most of the soil so you make sure you're not bringing any bugs or any fungus or anything into your house. Put them into a new pot, and then you just let them kind of stay dormant. You cut them back and you keep them moist but not like watered. You know, I find mine are best like out in the garage in a dark corner. They're fine. As long as they're not freezing, they're good. And then in the springtime, when you slowly adapt them back out to the light and to outside, they'll start to shoot, and you'll be way ahead of the game, especially on hot peppers, because it takes so much longer to grow hot peppers. So when you're starting from something tiny, by the time the summer's over, you don't really get much of a harvest. So overwintering these things can really be a game changer and give you way more product at the end of your growing time. The other thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to these herbs and whatnot, if you grow a bunch or have access to a bunch of herbs, even dandelion, you can dehydrate all that stuff and put it in jars, and you can sell it. You can make tea blends. You can freeze it. All of these different things, because they're so packed full of nutrients that we really need in the winter months, especially if there's a grid down situation. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about on this particular video is transportation. And I know that sounds funny, but you know, in the event that this is a long-term situation and the fuel is gone and there is no way to get fuel, things like having pedal bikes, that's a mode of transportation. So if you have, you know, a couple of pedal bikes or even kids' scooters, it's still a way to get you from point A to point B without having to walk. So all of these different things, think about that. And if you're going to have a couple extra pedal bikes, make sure you have the repairs for them. Tire repair kit, different things for changing the gears or sprockets or repair, whatever you do on bikes, I'm not really sure. But all of those things in the event of emergency are going to be amazing. And any kind of a basket you can attach onto a pedal bike, or something to carry stuff. So if you had to go to wherever to barter with something, you can take your products and then bring your products back. I guess like saddlebags, so to speak. But anything that can help you with that. And the last final thing that I want to talk to you guys about now, a lot of the things I speak about you can get in thrift stores. So when it comes to backpacks, I mean, nowadays you go into a store, even into the big box stores, they're expensive, but you can find some beautiful backpacks, different fanny packs and whatnot, in thrift stores. And you can find different things like tents, and you can find sleeping bags and all sorts of stuff in thrift stores. You just got to look around. Once you get them home, of course, if it's a sleeping bag, excuse me, you want to properly clean it. Excuse me. Ooh, clean it and make sure it's nice before you put it into your house and whatnot. Excuse me. But yeah, and I want to say I am super excited and so grateful for all the comments down in the comments section. It's so awesome. I love it. If you guys have things that you prepare with, or the things that you can think of that I may have left out, please, by all means, put them down in the comment section so other people can benefit from your knowledge and from your experience. I thank you for coming by my channel again. I am so grateful that we're all getting prepared. And you know, sometimes it's just starting the conversation with your friends and your family to get the ball rolling and really start to learn what things are important to you. Thank you again. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.